Here's how to set up your Gamesir controller with your Cronus Zen so it actually works if you guys are playing on your PC or your Xbox. Again, I'll have timestamps down below so you guys can skip around to whatever parts you need. But step number one is going to be updating your Gamesir controller, right? I watch hundreds of videos. A lot of people are skipping steps. So we do have our free Discord. So I'll leave you guys this in the pinned comments below. Make sure you guys go ahead and join. If you have any questions, you guys can go ahead and ask there. Again, pinned comments, description. But first thing we're going to have to do is go ahead and update this little device, all right? To update your controller, you're going to go onto your laptop or your PC. And first thing we want to do, let me go and make myself bigger. You're going to go down here in the search bar and type in Microsoft Store, okay? Go ahead and type that in and then open it up. Once we're in here, you're going to right click on this and open up this Gamesir app, all right? So go ahead and click on this. And next, all we want to do is download this one with the white chicken logo. Okay, you guys can see it. I already have it downloaded, so let's go ahead and open this one up. So just go ahead and hit open. For you guys, you're going to have to install it, right? Once it opens up, we need to plug in our controller. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right over here. You guys can see, plug it into your laptop or your PC as well, the other side. And there we go, right? Once it's plugged in, go ahead and hit the power button first so it turns on, all right? These first few steps we're going to talk about are going to be for PC. If you guys play on Xbox, you guys can skip over to the Xbox part, all right? First thing I want you to do once you guys are inside of here is press this little up button to do your firmware update, all right? You guys can see I've already done mine, so I don't need to do it. Make sure you do yours though. Next, you can see right here your refresh rate. If you are playing on your PC, put this thing on 100 Hertz, okay? That's going to be the next step. I see a lot of people mess up in all the videos. They don't say this, okay? If you play on PC, put it to 100 Hertz. Once you guys have done all that, you guys can mess around with your profiles, do all that good stuff. And then simply go ahead and disconnect your controller, all right? Next step is going to be everything with our Cronus Zen, okay? And now you have to make sure your Cronus Zen's updated, all that good stuff. If you guys have not seen my full Cronus Zen setup video that I made a couple days ago, make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. Right now, I'll pull up a thumbnail of the video so you can know exactly what that thumbnail looks like and know exactly what to click. I'll also put it in the pinned comments, so check that out, all right? Once you guys have done that, open up your Zen Studios and make sure you guys go ahead and download updated scripts, all right? Everyone skips this in all their videos, and that's the reason their controller doesn't work, all right? To go ahead and download updated scripts for your Cronus Zen, click on the first link in the description. I recommend everyone at least sign up for the $30 per month here. This gives you guys access to all the updated scripts, as well as the aim assist values that go along with it. And again, my number is always up here, so if you guys need any help, you guys can text me. And we also have a free scripts tier, right? If you guys want to go ahead and try out some of the free scripts first, this will be in the pinned comments below, all right? So once you went in and signed in, here's how you're going to download the updated script, right? You're going to go in the products tab over here. You're going to click on the extreme script section. This is where all of our updated scripts are. And you'll know when it was last updated when you see the little date by it, right? So let's say you wanted the brand new Falcon version 5 or the Snake version 3. All you have to do is right click on this. Once you do, you guys can see it just goes into your right hand side, all right? So once that step is done, you can minimize all this. We're going to go back in our Zen Studios and add the script onto our Zen, right? Again, this whole time, the Zen's only plugged in on the right-hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this old scripts, right? To add a new one, you're just going to press the 6 little lines on the left-hand side. And then we're going to press File, press Open. You go into your downloads, and you'll see the Snake version 3. Go ahead and press Open here, okay? Once we see it in here, we got to go back to Programmer. And look, if you're on the 6 little lines, you'll see the Snake version 3. So right-click, drag drop, and then make sure you guys go ahead and finish off by pressing the play button here, all right? So that's going to be step number one, an issue I see all the time is a lot of you guys not using updated scripts on your Zen, all right? Once it's added, now you want to go over to your device tab. Let me go ahead and make myself a little bit smaller. And this is step number one when it comes to connecting your Gamesir to your PC, okay? And that's going to be, you want to make sure down here where it says Output Protocol, guys, you want to make sure you set this to PlayStation 5, okay? I've seen a lot of other videos online. People tell you to set it to Xbox, Xbox One X, Auto, PC Mobile. All that stuff is wrong, okay? We want to make sure it's set to PlayStation 5, all right? Once that step is done, what I want you to do next is go ahead and unplug this cable from the right-hand side, okay? So unplug it from the right-hand side. And now we want to go ahead and plug the Zen in at the top, okay? So again, since you're going to be playing on your PC, the other end of this wire is going to go into your PC, right? But again, plug the Zen in at the top first. You guys can see me do it right here, okay? Next step is you also want to plug it in on the right-hand side. So I'm going to grab that other cable that I was just using. So there we go. We're going to plug that in, okay? So you guys can see this is how it should look right now, okay? And once you're back on your Zen device tab, sometimes the console might not pop up, but that's perfectly fine, okay? Once it's plugged in just like this, okay? Now we go ahead and plug in our G7 controller, our Gamesir controller. And here's how I like to do this, all right? First, I like to just go ahead and connect the wire to the controller. I use the wires, again, you guys can use the ones that come with the Gamesir. I just like using shorter ones because the ones they give you are way too big. And final step is connecting your controller to the Zen, all right? Now, there is a specific spot you have to plug it in on your Zen, right? So if you're looking at the Cronus Zen, once everything's plugged in like this, you have to plug your controller in on this bottom left side. You guys can see right here. So I'm going to plug in the controller here and show you guys what it looks like, right? You guys can see right here. This is where it needs to be plugged in. Make sure this light over here turns green, okay? That means our controller is getting power. Again, the controller is not turned on yet. That's fine, but just make sure it turns green right here. That indicates we're getting power, okay? Once that step is done, once you guys go back over here, what happens a lot of the time, especially when I first plugged in the controller, it will not come up in your Joypad here. No controller will show up, or the keyboard. You can see it's showing up as a keyboard. That's super strange. So if that happens, here's what you need to do. You need to pick up your G7 controller, and we need to hold down 2 buttons on it, okay? So if you guys are facing the controller towards you, it's going to be these 2 buttons. So first one, it's going to be this one right up here. You guys can see right underneath the Xbox button. And then the other one is going to be right over here, okay? I call it the 3 lines button, okay? So we're going to need to hold these 2 down together. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold them down. And you're going to wait till this Xbox button right up here flashes. Once it does, let go. And now what we want to do is if we go back over to our Zen Studios, you can see the controller now just shows up as a keyboard, right? I can try to turn it on, and you guys will see it does not show up as a Joypad, right? You guys can see it doesn't show up as a Joypad. That means it will not work. It just shows up as a keyboard, okay? So we got to redo this step one more time. And what is that step again? You're going to hold down this little button here first, and then the 3 lines. Again, hold them down together though, okay? So here we go. Bang. And wait till the light flashes again. You guys are going to wait. Once it flashes, you can let go. And if I go back to my Zen Studios, you can see now it doesn't show up as a keyboard. That's what we want, all right? Now, let's say you guys did all these steps. The controller still is not showing up here in the Joypad section. There is one final step I want you to take, and that's going to be taking your Zen, flipping it over, and there's a little blue button on the back, right? This little button is called the savior button. That's what I'm calling it, okay? And the reason is it's a reset button. If it ever does not work and it doesn't show up in your Joypad, literally go ahead and hit this button one time. Just hit it one time. That's going to reset your Zen. You can see it closed out of your Zen Studios. That's perfectly fine. You can see no light was here for a second. Now it's back on though. Open up Zen Studios again and just redo the steps, okay? Redo the steps. If it ever feels like it's not working, hit that reset button, okay? It's right over here. You press it one time, right? And now you can see it shows up in our Joypad in our console. And quick test you can run is go into tools up here, go to device monitor, and then now just use your controller, right? So I'm going to turn it on. Let's see. There we go. It turned on. You can see the green lights on. Everything's plugged in. And then just go ahead and use it, right? If I hold L2, it should show up here on both sides. If I hold RT, it should show up on both sides as well, right? So again, that's the PC setup. Now let's go ahead and get into the Xbox setup. Now to set up your Gamesir controller for your Xbox, first thing you guys are going to have to do is again, go over to your laptop or your PC, all right? Now we're going to still have to open up the Gamesir Nexus app, okay? And since you guys remember from my PC setup part, I had my hertz rate set to 1000. That will not work for your console. So again, just plug it in to your console. I guess this wire is not going to work. Keep grabbing the wrong wire. Again, this controller is super finicky, so you got to make sure you got the right wire. But again, I'm going to plug it in first, okay? And then go ahead and power it up, all right? We have to go into the app first, all right? The reason is I need to set my pulling rate right here to 250 or 500 hertz. Again, I'm just going to set it to 250. You guys can put it on 500 if you want it, all right? Once that step is done, what we need to do next is simply go ahead and unplug the controller, okay? Unplug the controller just like that, all right? Now, here is the next step. Again, right now, do not touch your Zen. What we need to do is plug it back in and make sure you guys are not touching any buttons here, okay? Now we're going to hold down these two buttons to put it into that pairing mode that we need to, and that's going to be right underneath this Xbox button right up here. And then I call it the 3 lines button right here, okay? You're going to have to hold these two down together until the light on the Xbox button flashes, all right? So again, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to hold them down and wait till that flashes one time. There we go. Once it does, you guys can go back over to your desktop and you can see just says select controller, right? Once it says this, now we can just go ahead, unplug it, all right? Next step is opening up your Zen Studio. So I'm going to go ahead and hit X on this, X out of it, okay? Open up your Zen Studios. And now we have to go ahead and plug in the Zen. So first thing I like to do is just plug it in on the right-hand side. Here we go. So again, I'm going to plug it in on the right-hand side. Perfect, right? Again, if the Zen Studios doesn't fully load in, you can see my programmer is not loading in. Just hit cancel, and we can just pop it open one more time, all right? So here we go. Give it a second. Perfect. It is loaded in. And make sure you guys are using updated scripts. Again, if you guys want the updated scripts, first link in the description, get the $30 per month here, okay? But once we're inside of the Zen Studios right here, we're going to go up here into the device tab. And since now you guys are going to be playing on your Xbox, you have to make sure your output protocol here, just set it to Xbox 360, okay? I don't care if you guys are playing on the X or the S, just set it to 360, okay? Once that is done, you're going to come in and plug in the Zen also at the top. Right now, just make sure you guys are on your laptop or your PC. Okay? I'm going to grab the other cable. You guys can see, here we go. And plug that in right here at the top. All right. And now we can see it shows up and shows us our console right over here, which is going to be the Xbox. That's good. All right. Now we're going to have to plug in our controller. And to do that, I'm going to put the Zen to the side for a second. I'm going to get ready and wire up my controller. So here we go. You guys can see that. This USB side now, the other end of the cable that my controller is plugged into, goes onto the left-hand side of the Zen right here, okay? So you guys can see, I'm going to plug it in right here. So here's how it should look, right? We want to make sure this green light comes on. If it doesn't come on, that usually means your cable is not providing enough power, right? So if it doesn't turn green, make sure you guys go ahead and try out a new cable, all right? So once that step is done, we're going to go back to the Zen Studios, right? Now we notice something really peculiar. There's no joypad and there's no console, right? That means it's not going to work, all right? So here's what I like to do once that's done. Let's go ahead and try to turn on our controller, okay? Because the green light's on. That means we're getting power. So I'm going to go ahead and try to turn on our controller, and let's see what happens. We can see controller turns on, but still nothing, right? If this happens, there's a cool little button on the back of the Zen, and I call it the Holy Savior button because it's a reset button right here, okay? So you're going to press this one time. This is a reset button here. Just quick press it one time, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and press it, show you guys what it looks like. Go back to Zen Studios, right? And we can see I'm still getting nothing, right? There's no joypad. There's no console showing up, right? If that happens, that's perfectly fine. Do not get frustrated. I've spent hours doing this, right? Next, we're going to move on to the reset step on the controller. And that's by holding this button and the 3 little lines button again, okay? And wait for this light over here to flash. So we're going to hold them down together. 1, 2, 3. You can see. and then wait till it flashes and then let go. And there we go, right? Now you guys can see our joypad and our console shows up perfectly, right? And we can see our Zen's connected, green light's on, everything's good. Now there is one more test I like to run while we're inside of the Zen Studios before we go over to our Xbox. And that's by hitting Tools, going up here to the device monitor. And now we're going to turn back on our controller. So here we go. And then I just like to hold my aim bind. So hold LT and it should show up on the left side and the right hand side. Okay. So hold LT, RT. Okay. There we go. We're good to go. And now you're going to go ahead and unplug your Zen. I'm going to switch over to my phone cam and show you guys exactly how to plug everything in for your Xbox so it actually works. All right. So again, to unplug things, go from the top and then get rid of that side as well. And then also unplug your controller, completely unplug the Zen. Now we're ready for our Xbox. All right, guys, you guys can see I'm over at my Xbox. And again, just leave your Zen to the side for right now. And same with our controller, okay? That's going to be step number one. I want you to manually turn on your Xbox, all right? So you can see I'm going to manually power this thing up. You guys can see it's fully powered up. Now, step one is plugging in your Zen straight in at the top. So again, I go right from here to in here. Bang, you guys can see our Zen's plugged up. Still no controller yet though. Now make sure you guys unplug the controller. Now take the USB side and plug it in on the left-hand side of the Zen. You guys can see this is what it should look like right now. Again, no green light because the controller is not plugged in. Now go ahead and plug this end, the USB-C end, into your controller. Once you plug it in, do not touch the controller or anything. You want to go over to your Zen, make sure the green light is on, okay? Once it is, let's go ahead and try to press our Xbox button here and let's see if the controller powers up. We can see if I hold it, it does not want to power up, right? You guys can tell, no white lights turning on. I'm gonna try to hold it again. If nothing happens, that's fine. You're just gonna pick up your Zen, flip it over, and hit the Holy Grail button right over here, the reset button, one time, all right? So here we go, gonna press it once. There we go. Give it a second. The controller should power up. One more safety tip, make sure it's green here. And now you guys can see I can use the controller on my Xbox.